Yeah, hello. I haven't actually gone away, because I know you're thinking, Pastor Alex, Pastor Ojimba Alex, he's gone away, he's left London, yeah, and he's forgotten about the topic that he was teaching. No, I haven't gone away. This is part 2, and the topic is Ebola must end. So you go and get your pen or your pencil or your writing material, and you must write this time here, Ebola must end. And don't forget to put the part 2. Don't get things mixed up. In the kingdom of God, we don't mix up things. Yeah, we don't complicate issues. Everything is clarified, yeah, for your understanding. Okay, so Ebola must end in Africa. Yeah. Over 8,000 black Africans have died from this killer disease. And as I recall, Ebola just started coming on the news about a year ago. So if you look at the ratio, and you look at the velocity, and you look at the speed, and you look at the intent, it's a menacing disease that's killing black Africans at a high rate. I would even go as far as saying that the Ebola has more of a negative effect on black Africans than a civil war. So that means the Africans themselves, the way I look at it is, I'm not seeing the black Africans in the hospital being taken care of. I'm seeing black Africans being in a war. Yeah. The Ebola is there to massacre them and to take lives. So 8,000 people that the Ebola disease has claimed in a short space of time, that is ridiculous. That is shocking. We must get to see the back and the end of this killer. It's not even a virus, of this killer disease. It's funny because I know it's a serious subject and it's a deep subject here, but the other day I was sleeping and I was like visualizing Ebola for what it is, and I said to myself, Ebola is an epidemic. I don't know if you've heard the word epidemic ever before, but I'm going to try to explain what an epidemic is. An epidemic is a deadly disease that spreads very what's the word? Very dangerously in a short space of time. I'll give you an example. When you sow a seed, the intention or the reason of sowing that seed is for the seed to spread in the farm. It germinates and then it spreads. So it's like 1 minute there's nothing in the farm. It's like 6 months down the line, wow, there's a lot of trees and plants. It covers the farm. Now this is exactly what an epidemic does as well, but in a negative way. It spreads. It's like a plant that spreads and it damages and it kills. And an epidemic is so vile and so evil that if it's not stopped, it can wipe out a nation. Yeah, because an epidemic has got a motive that is going somewhere. You know, people want to take the Ebola disease as a joke. But I don't see it as a joke. I'm going to tell you why I don't see it as a joke. You know, the AIDS, the HIV, AIDS, is a disease that you can contract, not contact. You can contract by having sexual intercourse. I'll give you an example. A man's got AIDS and a woman doesn't have AIDS, and they come together and they have sexual intercourse, then the woman might end up having AIDS. She will be infected by the killer disease. But Ebola is not like that. Ebola is not a disease where a man and a woman have to have sexual intercourse, or where a man has to have sexual intercourse with an animal, like a monkey per se, or a chimpanzee, and you contract the disease and you spread it all over. Ebola is not like that. You don't have to have sexual intercourse with no one to get the Ebola. So I'm telling you how HIV came into existence. But I will not give up. Yeah, because I'm doing the research myself on how Ebola came into existence. In the streets of London, I walk around, I give out questionnaires. I'm asking the question, how did Ebola come into existence? Where did Ebola come from? And nobody can tell me. I'm going to tell you something, because you're my viewers, and I love you dearly. And make sure you like my page. Make sure you like my page, Pastor Ojimba Alex, because I'm not wasting my time here. I want to give you like a Bible quote. Jesus spoke in the Bible. And he said that there will be a time in this world when there will be wars. There will be nations fighting against nations. He said there will be diverse diseases. He said when these things begin to happen in the world, you should understand that these are signs that the world is coming to an end. But that's not where I'm going. The world coming to an end. That's not where I'm going. Jesus said that there will be wars in the world, and there will be diverse diseases. Where I'm going is diverse diseases. I'm trying to let you understand that diverse diseases here means different types of diseases. HIV/AIDS is a disease. Cancer is a disease. Ebola is a disease. Apollo is a disease. There are different kind of diseases. Tuberculosis is a disease. Leprosy is a disease. But Jesus said they are diverse diseases. So the question you should ask yourself is, why did Jesus say there will be diverse diseases? I'm going to tell you. The reason why Jesus said that there's going to be diverse, which means different diseases, is that Ebola is a different kind of disease that is man-made. What Jesus is saying there, that there will be a time in this world where diseases will be put in this world that have been made by mankind, to destroy others. And he's literally saying that God in heaven will be looking at the situation, and God in heaven will say, He will end the world. Because it's not going nowhere. It's a negative gimmick. Diverse disease. When Jesus said diverse disease, what he meant by that is that, of course, there will be diseases, there will be natural diseases, there will be natural causes, but there will be man-made diseases. And Jesus foresaw, he could see the future. He could see that Ebola will be put in the world by mankind to destroy my people. Africa has become a laughing stock. Africa has become the butt of the joke. You know, like when a man smokes a cigarette, you know, he smoke a cigarette, he pull it hardcore. He's pulling the cigarette. When the cigarette is finished, the butt, you can't smoke the butt, you flick the butt like that. Africa's become the butt of the joke. The waste. Africa's become a laughing stock again. People are talking about Ebola. There's this disease in Africa. There's more to it than that. Africa is the laughing stock again. The other day I was watching the news and I saw all these Ebola African victims. And I was looking at this, the coverages and the images, and it broke my heart. Yeah, tears were rolling down my eyes. Literal practical tears were coming out of my eyes. But do you know what? Yeah, some people were watching those coverages and they were celebrating. Tears were coming out of my eyes. A big man like me, a pastor. Tears were coming out of my eyes. I was looking at the news. And they were showing all these African victims in hospitals, lying down on the floor, skinny, all these things coming out of their skin. Mysterious disease has claimed their lives. Tears were coming out of my eyes. Yeah, I said tears were coming out of my eyes. You know, what I want to happen here, if I was to have it my way, I will say, I want all the African leaders, I want all the African presidents, the black African presidents, I want the African pastors, etc., etc. You must come together, or we must come together, because we are losing our people right in front of our eyes. Not only are we losing our people, we are losing our beautiful continent. We are losing our beautiful continent. We are losing our world. I'll tell you something here, because you might think this is a joke here, but I'll tell you something here. When God created this world at first year, God put the world in the hands of black Africans. He talks about the keys of the world. He put the keys of the world in the hands of black Africans, me and you. So where did we go from having the keys of the world to ruling the world, to losing the world, to have just a portion of the world, a little segment of the world? And when even that little segment we've got, Africa, we can't even maintain it no more. Presidents, I'm calling you out today. Black African presidents, I'm calling you out today. African leaders, black African leaders, I'm calling you out today. Let's have this conference. Let's talk about it in the way we see it. We are losing Africa and we are losing our world. You know, before, I remember in the days of USA for Africa, when Michael Jackson made that song. There's a choice we're making, we're saving our own lives. It's true, we'll make a better day, just you and me. Yeah. Oh, it's true, we'll make a better day, just you and me. I remember when Michael Jackson and Lionel Richie wrote that song, the images they were showing all over the world was famine in Africa. That was another time to laugh at Africa. They're showing all these starving black African children dying of malnutrition. All these African children were naked in the streets. They were eating rotten food with flies all over their mouths and flies coming out of their eyes. That was another way to laugh at Africa. And now it's Ebola. It's like from one step to the next. After Ebola, what is it going to be? Listen, if you go into the Bible, I don't know what chapter it is, but there's a story in the Bible where God was fighting for the children of Israel. And God literally told, I think it's Pharaoh, he literally told Pharaoh that any one of my children that dies, I will keep